the moment in the UK, Palestinian activism is seen as something that is threatening.
They just gave a blanket ban and said that there was no way that our event would be allowed to take place.
So we were getting all these sort of reasons as to why it was cancelled, and there wasn't a lot of transparency, unfortunately.
So it was like, you had to do a risk assessment for every last little thing. Every last little thing needed to be on like a piece of paper.
So subsequently, it's Palestinian events that are subject to prevent procedures, and then they go through the designated events procedure, which essentially means that it just goes through more scrutinised checks, and as a result have a higher chance of getting cancelled.
Yes, I feel like there's added pressure on us because on Palestine societies, because it is Israeli Apartheid Week, and we can see already a crackdown on our events.
It's basically just caused an unnecessary amount of stress, especially as Friday, so this is several days before the event, we were informed that they were carrying out high-risk assessments on speakers, even though we applied for all of the room bookings and external speaker checks back in December. So we actually did take many measures to avoid this kind of unnecessary stress.
Just a couple of days before the event was supposed to take place, myself and some of the speakers found out through articles published online on the Jewish Chronicle and Times of Israel that the university had decided to cancel our event.
There are efforts to undermine our cause by just shutting us down.
They sent us a letter saying that our event could be considered to be illegal and discriminatory and harassment against certain students, all of which we completely reject.
So we ended up meeting with the Chief Operating Officer, and throughout the meeting with him we were told that the reason why the university decided to cancel the event was because of the title that the event was under, which was Israeli Apartheid Week, and that this violates the new government definition for anti-Semitism.
But then it became, for a while, literally in term one, that you cannot bring in outside speakers. And I think that's when, so to speak, it was too much for us, because that would mean that we would be severed and ostracized from the larger Palestinian movement.
We have faced a challenge in the last few days to go ahead with our mock Israeli checkpoint, which has been planned to happen on campus for Israeli Apartheid Week on last Thursday. So that's just 2 working days before Israeli Apartheid Week was due to start. We were informed by the university that our checkpoint would not be allowed to go ahead. It had received full approval on safety grounds from the Guild of Students here, but the university turned around for the first time in 14 years, in at least 14 years we've been told, and said that it would not be allowed to go ahead.
And even though we've been guaranteed by Kings that we're not being discriminated against, I do think that we face undue stress.
So we were getting all these sort of reasons as to why it was cancelled, and there wasn't a lot of transparency, unfortunately.
Well, we were all very concerned here in Exeter that this could be the beginning of just the university clamping down and banning freedom of expression and support for Palestinian rights and the Palestinian people on our campus. This is completely unprecedented, what's happened here, and we consider that we need to fight against this to win our right to demonstrate and our right to protest.
It also increases the nervousness, because now all eyes are on us.
And it would have been great if we were able to work together and to solve those together. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I do hope that that's something that does happen in the future.
By shutting down discourse and dialogue, we are not only invalidating the right to freedom of speech, but also strengthening the argument of those that claim that change cannot be made democratically. And I believe it's evident what dangerous narratives could be promoted as a result.
People aren't necessarily pro-Israeli, so we know that it's just the people up there who are kind of supporting the pro-Israel cause.
They will use this kind of scheme to try and stop us from talking out about Palestine.